In this lesson, we'll talk about what the routes are. Basically, when we work with resources of website, it is necessary to specify a route path to access that resource. And we could use that route to refer to a file, a page, or the URL address of the web page of another site. And the routes, in addition to defining the URL of the request, also indicate the method with which said request is to be made. And the two most used methods that we would start seeing are getType and postType requests. For example, to define a getType request, we could have to add the following code to our routes.php file. To illustrate, you can look at the screen now. This code will be launched when a GET request is made to the route path of our application. But if we're working in local, this route will be http ://localhost. But when the website is in production, it will refer to the main domain. For example, http ://www.yourwebsiteaddress.com. And it is important to indicate that if a post or non-GET request is made to that address, an error will be returned as that route is not defined. So to define a post type route, it will be done in the same way, but changing the GET verb by post. So to illustrate this, just look at the screen now to get an example. In this case, the route will point to the FOO/bar URL. So it will be http ://localhost/FOO/bar or http ://yourwebsiteaddress.com/FOO/bar. In the same way, we can define routes for put or delete requests. To give you an example, just look at the screen now. But if we want a route to be defined at the same time for several verbs, we can do it by adding an array with the types in the following way as per the screen. Or for any type of HTTP request using the any method. To illustrate, just look at the screen. If we want to add parameters to a route, we simply have to indicate them between curly bracket following the route. So to illustrate, just look at the example on the screen. In this case, we're defining the path /user/curly brackets ID, where ID is required and can be of any value. But if an ID is not specified, an error will occur, and the parameter will pass to the function, which can be used, as we will see later, to, for example, obtain data from the database, store values, etc. But we can also indicate that a parameter is optional, simply by adding the symbol, the question mark, at the end. Laravel also allows the use of regular expressions to validate the parameters that are passed to a route. For example, to validate that a parameter is formed only by letters or only by numbers. So when we want to generate the URL to a route, we can use the following method as per the screen. So it will be $URL equal URL, open the parenthesis, apostrophe FOO, apostrophe, close the parenthesis, semicolon. And with this method, we will make sure that the URL is valid. And in addition, we will add the domain that we have defined in the configuration file. But in general, its use will not be necessary, and we can simply write the route by hand to an address of the form. So it will be /FOO. But putting first the // to make sure that the route is from the root of the domain of our site. However, the use of this method in general is recommended to avoid problems of generation of non-existent or relative routes if we forget to put the /. Now let's get into artisan and views.